Hello lovely folks out there, welcome back to Soul Like Dotty. I'm Alison. If you've not been along before, you are very welcome, and if you're a regular to my channel, hello, it is really good to have you back again. So thanks for taking the time to stop by today. Today is going to be a bit of a whistle stop of what's been going on over the last couple of weeks. You might remember I had quite a busy week planned, with, well, I was going to say with not much sewing, but there was, because despite promising myself I wouldn't be sewing just before the ball, well, big shock, I was. But yeah, so the last vlog that I shared was the one about my Tilly and the Buttons Indigo dresses, which you guys seem to have really loved, so thank you for that. Thanks for the comments, as always, I appreciate them. So heading into the ball, you might remember that I was working on the dress for the ball, but I was keeping that fabric a little bit secret, and then I was talking about doing some embroidery on a lilac dress, which is my vision dress. I'll share that picture again quickly. That didn't happen. There's just no way that I had time, because I chucked in another couple of 2 days away that week beforehand. So where have I been and what have I been doing? Well, first of all, I put my nurse's hat on that I've not had on for 16 years, because Carl was ill for a week before we went, with like a really bad, not flu, but a really heavy cold and hack and cough. And up till the day before we were going down to Manchester, that's about a good 3-hour drive for us, he wasn't even sure that he was going to be able to go. And Naira was on standby. She doesn't really like Coldplay, but she was getting excited about the trip away. Anyway, thanks to the joy of rest and medication, Carl did make it. And we've seen this tour before. We saw it at Glasgow at the beginning, like earlier in the tour last year. So I said to Carl, just chill out, I'll drive. We don't need to kind of push and be near the front. We can be near C stage, which is the stage that they use towards the back. And you know, there's so much going on. It's such a show that wherever you are, you feel part of it. So I'll drop some pictures, and you might have seen these already on Instagram. I mean, when they did come on to C stage, I said to Carl, oh my God, we're so close to Chris Martin, I can literally see his eyelashes and his armpit hair. I don't know how to do that, armpit hair. But yeah, so that was an awesome night. So down to Manchester and back on the Thursday, Friday. And we love travelling like that, me and Carl, our little road trips. It's like a time where we just chill, put some music on, like can switch off from work and everything and just chat. And yeah, just nice times. We always kind of make the journey part of our trip. Like, you know, we're off and we're running. So then I came back and did my group on the Saturday, and because Ira and I had talked about going to Annick Gardens, which is lovely, we've been before, and is just about an hour away from us north. I felt like she was a bit good because she hadn't gone to Manchester, so on the way down I was looking for somewhere that we could stay for a night. Anyway, I found some kind of guest houses, but she's 24, like I'm old, we don't want to be sharing a bed together anymore. So I just googled glamping and found just the most amazing site. Totally loved it. We got a really good price for 2 nights, so we ended up staying on the top of a hill in Northumberland on a narrow boat, but not on water. I'll put some, you might have seen the pictures when I shared the Indigo dresses, but I'll put some pictures in again, so if you've not watched that, you can see what the boat was like, and I'm going to drop a little video in so you can take a look at that. So I'll do that right now. I'm going to have a little tour of the boat with me not trying to trip over. So this one's called Miss Ellie, and the other one is called Moonraker. So excuse my rubbish videography while I get down the steps. This sleeps 6, so we've got a lovely set of bunk beds here. And then in here you've got a little toilet on your right and a sink. And then we've been deciding about who has which beds. How cute is this? I'm going to get some lush pictures to share with you all. It's on a working farm, so we've already seen loads of lambs. And there is another one that called Moonraker that sleeps 4, I think. You've got another little doorway out here. There's a big seating area outside and a fire pit. Bathroom, wet room. Facilities are absolutely lovely. And kitchen area. Very nice. And Lovely seating area with a TV. We're just going to have so much fun in here. And then there's another area out here as well with that beautiful stained glass. Hope you enjoyed that little sort of tour around. So that was beautiful. There was a smaller narrow boat, but the distance was like enough that you couldn't really see what they were doing. And they all of the properties on that site have a wood-fired hot tub that you can use, like pay and use. So theirs was over the other side. So it just felt really private. Honestly, it was just lovely. The mattresses were lovely. The bedding was lovely. The whole thing was just lovely. There were hares hopping up and down the farm tracks. There were lambs in the field next to us. And Ira was doing her yoga on the grass. We could see the sea and some castle ruins at the coast. Oh, it was just lovely. And then we went to Alnwick Castle the next day. I'm not really a Harry Potter fan, and Ira loves Harry Potter. She'd actually just rewatched them all that week. And there's quite a lot of footage that's done at Alnwick Castle. So we were just mooching around like we do, you know, kind of like, where should we go? Should we go this bit or this bit? Anyway, there was like a tour going on. So we just hopped on the end of that thinking they would go like, you know, this was built in blah-de-blah. Anyway, it wasn't. It was kind of like, so in the scene from Harry Potter, so, and Ira was chuffed to bits, where they did this, this and this, and then talked a lot about that. And then they were talking about the bits they recorded there from Downton Abbey and Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. So we were totally in our element. So we just sort of followed that around. And then the next bit they did was where they were talking about the first time they rode on the broomsticks, which I could remember that bit from the first movie, and how Harry flies off, but the next scene's actually recorded in Durham Cathedral, which is really bizarre, and then back. And there was some broomstick training going on. They used to have a green screen where you could like jump on a broomstick that was like set and it looked like you were flying, but they don't have that anymore. So we asked one of the guys and he went, "This is great. You'd only get a chance to say this somewhere like that, wouldn't you, in a castle? If you go and ask one of the wizards, they'll lend you a broomstick to sit on for a photo." So that's what we did. So this photo is an actual photo with me going 1, 2, 3, jump, and pressing the button, and then Ira just jumping in the air on the broomstick so it looks like she's flying. And I think we've done a great job between us. The first time she did her hair was across her face and stuff, but we mastered it. So yeah, and then we had another good wander around, went round all the staterooms, and I love anything like that. And then yeah, we tagged on to the end of a different bit of the tour, which we'd not done, and that's where they were talking about the Ford Anglia scenes of Harry Potter and 17.5 Ford Anglias that we used and things. So yeah, we were really like pleased with that. So we had a lovely couple of days. Obviously had food out and had a really nice time, and then came home, and then I was like, yeah, maybe I'd better get on with my dress for the ball, which I'd done quite a bit of by that point. So you may well have seen it if you do follow me on Instagram. If you don't, why not? It's just so like Dotty. So I will show you it. So I decided to make the Style Arc Belle dress, which I'll drop a pattern picture in of, and sort of the line drawings and things. I made this dress once with the buttons down that you can see in the picture, and didn't I? No, I don't think I did. I think I messaged a lady in New Zealand that had shared on Instagram and said, does it need the buttons? And she said, no, because it's got a shirred panel at the back. You don't need the buttons. So the waist yoke, I think that's what it's called. If not, I'll just make up my own words. I now cut that on the fold, and the front skirt is the same as the back skirt if you're not putting pockets or anything. So I just cut 2 back skirts. It does include, you do a bit of the burrito method, which I don't always get from their pattern. But if I get stuck, I just go to the Davenport dress tutorial on Friday Pattern Company site and use it for that. So the fabric is the Dolores fabric from Fabric Godmother, which I didn't buy from them. I actually bought from Guthrie Garney. I got 4 meters, and I did have a little bit left, but it does take quite a lot of fabric. But a lot of it was about placement, because I had this vision of how I wanted it. So the fabric looks like this. You might remember the Joni fabric from last year that was out. Well, this probably came out last year. So I really wanted to cut it so that, I don't know how well this will come out on here, so that the centre of the sleeve had this pattern running down it. And then for the front, you'll see on some pictures, I wanted the pattern to come, where am I at? There, and so down and down. And then for the skirt, I wanted it to go straight down, but here I wanted it to go across, and it's across at the back. So this is where your burrito method comes in on the yoke, so it's fully sort of closed in there. It's really tidy. You just have this little sort of bit of a facing that meets up there. I think I've made about 5 of these now. I just kind of made up the length of sleeve that I wanted and did the cuffs like this with the elastic in, and of course it has a ruffle on. So I do need to take probably, I mean, it's maxi length, so you know I can wear it, it's not trailing on the floor, so I don't know whether I will hem it up or not. It comes in 2 fabrics, so one, oh gosh, I can't remember what type they are. Gosh, I said that again, I said that on my last vlog. This has got viscose in, but it's a blend of fabrics, and I can't remember what the other one is. Sorry, if I remember, I'll try and drop it in, or I'll drop a link to it in the description box. But honestly, it was so beautiful to sew with, absolutely beautiful, and I felt lovely in it. So I might even get a little video of when I came out on stage to collect the award, and a couple of pictures. I'll drop those in as we chat. So that was that dress. So Jen and I went to Birmingham. Jen's my friend who I met at Maslin World Training 16 years ago. Her group's in Gisborough, and I don't know, I'm going like that because it's like over that way from here. It's about an hour and a half that way. And we were on the same district, Durham and Cleveland at that time, so we were both consultants on the same district and managers on the district, and then obviously I relocated. So although we do see each other, we sort of meet in between now and again. We don't get together as often as we would like to, but we are really good friends. And Carl was at the Pink concert with Tyler on the Saturday night where I was meant to be, so he couldn't come to the ball with me, so yeah, Jen was the right person to ask. She's like, it's like spending a weekend away with the female version of Megan McIntyre. She's just so funny, and yeah, you know, when you just have those friendships that you know are going to last for life, it doesn't matter what you do, you'll always be friends, and Jen's one of them, so I'm lucky to have ever met her, really. So the other dress that I made that I wore for receiving the award, so on the afternoon you go for a photo shoot with Margaret, who started Slim World 54 years ago I think, and you pick up your trophy, which weighs a ton. You get an official photo taken, so I'll drop that in. So I made the Hello Kitty fabric, the second one. If you've not watched my vlogs, you won't know what the first one is, but you'll just have to come back and watch another day so that you know. So this one is the one that's it's bright but not overly bright. Now these, that's my thumb, so that gives you an idea. So from a distance, loads of people last week said, oh, I love the pattern on that dress, and then I went up close and went, and who's on it? And they were like, oh, never even saw Hello Kitty. So this is the Indigo. There is a reason I've not got it on today, I'll explain. Typical Indigo, and it is the sagebrush top sleeves because I wanted that puffy sleeve. Nothing different about it. You'll have seen the picture, so I'll put it in. Maxi length, ruffle on the bottom, very typically me. But I've got a small problem. Well, it's a nice problem to have. So I know I'm always talking, well, not always talking, but I mention about the gastric stuff that I'm going on. So currently I've got the upper GI stuff that we're working on, which is improving, and I'm also being properly diagnosed with IBS, which I sort of self-diagnosed, as you do when you're a nurse, probably like 30 years ago. So as part of that, I've had various things done, but one of the things that I'm doing for this week and was doing last week is following the FODMAP diet, which isn't a weight loss diet, it's an elimination diet to help you work out what causes your IBS. So there's a couple of things I know for sure. Milk and dairy is an absolute trigger. I've 100% narrowed that down. I know a lot of people it's gluten. I'm not sure about gluten. I also had some hair sensitivity tests done that Jax, thank you Jax, told me about, which my daughter did as well, bless her. And when her test came back, it pinged through to my email. And when I read it, I said to Carl, oh, dear God. He said, what? I went, well, basically, she's sensitive to everything. I think all she can do is eat, chew grass and drink water. She can't quite wrap her head around it all yet, so she's working her way through that. Mine was things like corn, popcorn, mushrooms, which I was gobsmacked about. What else was on there? Oh, there was loads. There was loads. Anyway, it was really, really good. And my GP is brilliant because, like I said, oh, I don't know if you're interested in that. She went, yeah, I am. Tell me what it found. So she said, interestingly, a lot of the things that it showed up, like it showed up shellfish, but I'm allergic to shellfish. I'm allergic to bananas. I'm allergic to nickel. I'm allergic to copper. I'm allergic to a lot of things. I'm not allergic to you, though. So she said a lot of the things that it showed up were high FODMAP, and I need to be on low. So I see her again on Friday. So I started that a week ago. I've lost £6 in a week. I've eaten really well, but I'm having to really think about what I'm eating. I'm having to go high protein to keep full because there's not really an awful lot you can sort of snack on it. You can't eat garlic, onions, there's loads of stuff. There's loads of things about it. If you're interested in it, just check out FODMAP. I'm not even going to begin to tell you what the FODMAP bit stands for because they're all really long words and I don't really understand them. But so the result of which is the bloating has completely gone. They've halved my omeprazole medication that I take for the hiatus hernia, and I was really nervous about that. I've been absolutely fine, like so fine. I'm like really impressed. I feel like I've lost enough weight that I can feel a difference, but when I went kind of go to put my moisturiser and stuff on, like loads of puffiness has gone out of my face. You know, when you lose weight, you know it's going to come off your face, but like not when I've lost £6 or £7, it wouldn't normally. Even things like my bracelet feels a bit looser. So I must have a lot of, more than just bloatedness around my tummy. It must be kind of, I don't know, but that's what I've noticed. So consequently, this is now too big. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to order another ½ metre length, but I'm not going to do anything with it yet because I want to lose about 2 stone. So this is giving me a really good kickstart into that. It's making me really think about my health, my nutrition and activity. So there will be quite a few things that I'm probably going to have to park. And then when I get to where I want to do, I mean, some things I can just run the seams in, but some things I'll need to refit or, you know, remake the bodice if I can. And with this, I want to remake the bodice because it feels too wide on the shoulders as well. It feels like it's sort of sitting off my shoulder. So I'll just take the sleeves out, take the top off, keep the skirt, and then I'll just recut a new bodice in it. But I don't want to do it yet because I love the fabric, as you know. And so there's no point redoing it yet because then it's going to be too big again soon. So what would be the point? So they were the dresses and the makes that I wanted to share. But don't switch off because I'm still here. There's more. So yeah, we had a great night at Birmingham, danced our little feet off, and Ira was saying, what you wear? Are you going to get some red wedges or something to wear with your dress? I went, no, I'll be wearing my Dr. Martens. My dress is long, you can't see them. My Dr. Martens. But thank you to everybody who gave me tips about plantar fasciitis. For those people who told me to get some of these with arches on, I got the Skechers ones. There is another brand, there's 2 people mentioned brands, so I've got my eye on them for a different colour. And I got the Skechers Arch Fit trainers because obviously at Coldplay we always get standing tickets if we can. You were on your feet for a long time, and then at Pink on the Sunday I was on my feet for a long time. So those Arch Fit trainers and these just have been amazing. So like it's not gone, but the pain's massively settled. So yeah, basically we did Friday in Birmingham, we did like food and cocktails, met up with Kevin and Jason who married, and I did my team manager training with Kevin, and they're from Norfolk, Norwich area, so I would never get a chance to see him. He'd won an award as well. And yeah, and so well, I'm not a big drinker, I'm not going to lie. So when I say we had cocktails, we had 2. We had a lovely night, lovely conversation. Jen and I could sit on like, I don't know, we could sit on a rock and have a great time. So Saturday was the ball. just had a couple of Prosecco's and some lovely food, and then Sunday morning breakfast, up and off, back up here to get her dropped off near Gisborough, and me back home because I'd got tickets for Pink Summer Carnival. Now, if you're into music, you might be seeing lots of video clips because that was incredible. Like, just, I've been to a lot of gigs in my life, but that was incredible. I love the script, but when we bought the Pink tickets, the script, like, we didn't know who was going to support, so it was Gail, Pink, Gail, the script, and then Pink, and there was a DJ on in between. It was some of the tracks were a bit cheesy, but he was mixing it well, and so from the minute we walked into the Stadium of Light, the atmosphere was just awesome. I'd managed to get us Golden Circle, so we were right at the front. And obviously she does loads of acrobatic stuff while still singing. I mean, I was just like, how do you still sing at that level while you're spinning around doing all of that? So I'll drop a couple of like videos in and things so you can see a bit of it. And then, yeah, I'll leave you with when I finish, I'll leave you with the little finale bit, which you might have seen. But she landed on a podium right in front of us. I'll put that picture in now. So she's literally flying across the whole end of the arena and from one side to the other, and then comes down. There was a little podium on the other side, and then right where we were, and she was literally on a hand, like, you know, doing, I don't know what you call it, upside down, pressing on one hand. I mean, that woman's core must be unreal, but she was just so good. Did anybody else go? Loads of my friends did over the couple of nights at Sunderland, and if you've not been, I think BST Hyde Park, I think it's this week. Get yourself on Tickets and get some tickets because it was amazing. So that was quite a week, and then obviously Monday I was off, then back to work, and yeah, you know that first day back at work where you're just like, I think I had something on the Tuesday night, I can't remember, and then Wednesday night I had a class, and then I was going to record for Friday, so sorry I didn't, but the sun was out. I hadn't really kind of sat outside or done anything, and I just thought, I'm just going to chill with my family, and yeah. So I have been making though, so my next vlog will be what I've been making since then. So there's a few new things to share with you, and then I've also been busy pattern testing a new skirt from Jane from the Dressmaker's Closet, which I did a trial of yesterday, and then I did the actual one. I only came upstairs last night at like 7:15 to cut it out, and I went back downstairs at 10 o'clock and I made it. I was just like, oh well, I might just get that. Oh well, I might just do that. Oh well, so yeah, done. So I'm going to do some pictures today of that. So I think that's due to launch on the 30th of June, but we'll be sharing on Instagram, and I'll be sharing on here, so you'll see that. And I think coming up, Jane's going to have a little cheeky discount code that I'm going to be able to share with you. So watch out for that on the reveal vlog coming up for her patterns, because I do genuinely love her patterns. This one I was worried about because I don't, like you can imagine with the bloating scenario, I'm not a zip that's why I don't use zips, and when I tried it I thought, I'm gonna have to grade this up, it's not going to fit, and within a week of following this thing, it fit. I just cut it as per the pattern, so was absolutely over the moon with that. Yeah, anyway, I won't reveal too much because that's coming up quite soon. So have I got, I don't think I've got any more fabric. I have got some new patterns, or a new pattern, so yeah, that'll probably be Friday. So please come back, join me then, and let's chat some more. And of course, as always, let me know what you're making and what you're doing, because you know I love to chat. So drop some info in the comments. I think that's everything. It's all a bit of a blur now, but yeah, thank you for sharing my week with me.